Hi, this is Donald here, and this is my review of the Southern Reach Trilogy, consisting of the books Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance by Jeff Vandermeer. The Southern Reach Trilogy is a book in the genre of the new weird, which in the case of this particular series is a fusion of Lovecraftian horror, science fiction, and believable characters and a more realistic setting, as in modern day. From what I understand, Jeff Vandermeer is a big writer for the new weird genre. A fun little fact, but there's actually a movie made on this book called Annihilation. Though from what I've seen of the movie, it's very different from this book. You're not going to get the same plot. You're going to get a substantially different plot, I'll say. The Southern Reach Trilogy has an amazing premise. It caught my attention right off the bat. In fact, I played this video game called Control, which led me to look up books that were like that game, because I really enjoyed that game. It was a game about a secret government agency that researched the paranormal, and people recommended this book. Now, just as the background of this book, there is a zone in the continental United States along the New England coast, a largely unpopulated, heavily forested location, which suddenly experiences an unexplained anomaly. Suffice it to say, it's sealed off from the outside world by the US government and the military. The Southern Reach is the name of the secret government compound that's built near the area, which overlooks operations on and around and even into this anomaly zone, which in the book is dubbed Area X. We join a manned expedition into this strange Area X, and that is where this book begins. The Southern Reach Trilogy is about 593 pages long, and definitely a slog in some areas. Gonna be pretty straightforward there. I really enjoyed this book at first. Then I was less interested but kept reading. Then I really enjoyed it again. And then I just lost interest for about 2 weeks. And then I really enjoyed it at the end. You might be able to tell that, in my opinion, this book might have a bit of a pacing problem. There are a lot of flashbacks in this book, but there are so many that it starts to dilute the main plot a bit too much, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but the flashbacks, like they typically are very important to the story and the themes within the book. That said, I think it could have been handled better and paced better. Sometimes I was confused where I was and what time it was and what character I was supposed to be looking at. And sometimes the author wants you to feel that way just to mess with you, right? But in my opinion, it's just annoying. And in this book, I just kind of got annoyed. Like, I wish I could understand it a little bit better. Not saying it wasn't useful for what the author was trying to bring about. It just made the book more of a pain to read. I wasn't the biggest fan of this book by the end, even though I did think it was good. But the more I think about the book and let it digest, and as I think about it, the more I enjoy it. The plot is interesting, original, and Lovecraftian in the best way. It does mess with your mind and your ability to comprehend what exactly is happening, which is awesome, as long as you don't overdo it, which can get annoying, like I just mentioned. I just wish the author could have shortened things up a little bit. Right? When you feel that way for so long, you just get kind of annoyed and you just start reading quickly or skipping parts. I'll give some examples in a minute, but I did feel like a lot of his writing had a lot of unnecessary elements to it, and it didn't quite flow as well as I would have liked. I do enjoy the philosophical, dreamlike, abstract way of describing things. I just felt like there was a little too much of that. It just became a little bit too much effort to understand. One example, and this is just a sentence I just randomly picked from the book, right? I haven't tailored this to my point too much at all. On further inspection, Cheney displayed the remnants of a bodybuilder's physique as if he had once been fit, but that this condition, like all human conditions, had receded and then reconstituted itself in the increased thickness around his waist, but in receding had left behind the still solid chest, jutting forward through the white shirt, out from the brown jacket, in a triumphant way that almost gave cover to his gut. Now that's a really complicated way of just saying, he kind of looked like he used to be physically fit, but, maybe I lost it a little bit, right? I've read this sentence so many times and it's still just kind of confusing what exactly he's trying to say. This is the simple sentence, right? Another sentence. The world beyond, that when my thoughts drift toward it at all, is a hazy, indistinct sphere, radiating a weak light, riddled through with discordant voices and images that cut across eyes and minds like a razor blade, and none of us able to even blink. I both love and hate this kind of writing. Get ready for a lot of this stuff. It's very cool and descriptive and makes you think, but also frustrating when there's too much of it. And in my opinion, there's just too much of it. I just wish she could explain things simple, right? If you do this too much, I just feel like the pages become mumbo jumbo, right? When you're trying to describe something very concrete with all this abstract writing, it's just a pain. Okay, getting away from that, I do think, now this might have been kind of bonus brownie points, right? But I do feel like the book would have hugely contributed to having artwork in it. Now, I know people, including myself, really enjoyed the covers of this book and the artwork there. And I just think putting that inside the book itself would have been really cool. Maybe that's something for a future edition or something, but I think it would have really contributed to understanding this book better and trying to point out specifically little hints on what the author was wanting you to focus on. Do I recommend this book? Yes, I recommend this book. It will definitely be challenging, especially if you're not a native English speaker. But if you really love the new weird or a different kind of horror novel, one that might play with your head a little bit, this will be a good read. Don't expect a walk in the park though. It's not the easiest book to read, I'll say. I really enjoyed that the book can convey thoughts and emotions that are unusual when it comes to just normal old horror. Lovecraftian horror. If you like nature and animals in the outdoors, you will enjoy this book a lot, because after all, Area X is outdoors and a lot of the setting of the book is in the outdoors. Lastly, like I was mentioning a lot in this review, if you really like straightforward, blunt kind of writing style, if you don't like the abstract kind of vocabulary, this book might be a little bit frustrating to read. And that is my review of the Southern Reach Trilogy, Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance by Jeff Vandermeer. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Maybe you loved it, maybe you didn't like it, maybe it was mumbo jumbo to you. Whatever your thoughts, let me know. Thanks.